Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Shed. Hashtag Irish Buzz Mafia with me, Trevor. You're very welcome along. It's a beautiful evening here. We've had a nice day for a change. Hopefully, the sun will continue for a little while longer. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful time wherever you are, and you're very welcome along to the show. On tonight's show, what we're going to do is we're going to have just a quick chat about the game gone on the preseason game against the Bears. Um, I'm going to ask what is preseason about, to be honest, from an Irish point of view, from me here in Ireland watching it. And then I'm just going to talk about a few things, bits of news in the Bills Mafia. I'm just going to give you a competition reminder. I'll talk a bit about it later on. And then any other little bit of news that we've had so far in um, the NFL this week. So I'll start with the show. It won't be too long tonight. Um, it's a quick show, hopefully. All going well. Talk about the preseason game one against the Chicago Bears that happened last Saturday. Now, I watched this game. It was tedious and hard. I have a lot of questions from this game afterwards. Like, what was the point of it? They say preseason is about seeing other players and seeing how things go and all this. Like, if we're missing our starters, I'm starting to worry if that's the best that we have underneath, to be honest about it. Um, like, this is nothing to do with the score. We got beat 33-6 at home against Chicago Bears. Now, I've heard some very good podcasts and YouTube shows about the depths of the game and what was it about and what they were looking for and so on. And I've heard some toxic tripe as well, sadly. Um, how it's the end of the world and how people are thinking that this team is done and so on and so forth. And this is where I'm sitting from at the minute, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, right, you take the Premier League. So the season was starting. So for the last few weeks, they've been having the challenges. The first challenge or two, you don't see too many first team players because they're on holidays and they're coming back. But they start coming back dribs and drabs and they're getting fitter and fitter. But as you get closer to the season, you see closer to your first team. And in American football, it's totally different. Um, you week three, from what I can gather, you'll see nobody in the first team. Nobody goes out. It's just players fighting for positions. But then you also look at none of them are playing the way that they're going to play if they make the team. There's no correct plays put out. Like I heard Josh Allen say there was no plan for last weekend's game. So what are you playing it for if you don't have a plan? Like there's nothing against Josh Allen. I'm just asking the question. You're sending out lads to fight for their futures, but if you don't have a plan to take on the Chicago Bears and either offense or defense, well, they have no chance. You know, what is the purpose of it? I did see some very good games over the weekend. I saw the Dallas Cowboys with the Rams. That was a classic. I enjoyed it. I saw the Broncos at the Colts. That was brilliant. I enjoyed it. I saw the Raiders at the Vikings. I thought that was very enjoyable. I saw the Bears at the Bills. It was awful. It was tripe, to be honest. And you're going, when our starters are taken out, what's this? What's going on? Are these our backups? Like, um, Mitch Trubisky, for me, doesn't give me any confidence that what happens if Josh Allen ever gets injured. What are we going to do? And then his understudy, um, Shane Bouchel, he got injured, but while he was there, gave me even less confidence of what's going on. Now, for his replacement, we have signed this week Ben DiNucci for a 1 year deal. But like, I don't know. Um, I just I don't know what the purpose of preseason was. They just not as well just have their training camps and keep training than have these kind of games where you send out Josh Allen for a quarter or half a quarter or a set of plays or whatever. And then when he does try something, he gets benched because they don't want him getting hurt. You can get hurt getting out of bed, like Let the man practice, let him express himself. It was a game time game. What are you holding them back from? Like, yes, there's a possibility they can get hurt. There's a possibility they can get hurt anywhere. It doesn't have to be on an American football field. You don't wish it or don't want it, but I'm just saying it's there. So for me, looking at this at the preseason, especially from a Bills point of view, when you're playing a game and you're not trying out anything in that game, what's the point of it? Like, how do the players impress you when there's no plan? When you're not planning how to beat the other team or how to stop the other team, you know, like I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it. I would prefer a competitive game and have a challenge, have a trophy of it or something, and let the players go hell for leather, and then there's something to fight for. Because maybe these other players are holding themselves back. I don't know. But if they are second and third string players that played a lot of this game last weekend, that was their effort, and that's the best they have, we're in trouble if we ever need them. End of story. So I don't know. That's just my thinking. We'll see this weekend when they play the Steelers how things go. But from last weekend, I'm like when you watch the other games, as I said, the Rams, the Cowboys, Rams, the Colts, the Broncos, the Vikings, and Raiders. These players busted themselves, and they were exciting, entertaining games. The Buffalo Bills game wasn't, and they're going, "What's the point of it? Why didn't you say, look, we're not bothered, we're not playing me, forget about it, you know, get another game. Sorry." I don't know. Anyway, as I said, I'm not too impressed with Mr. Risky. I wasn't impressed with him last year when he was at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if Josh Allen gets any kind of an injury that has to sit him out of the game, like he's not a guy that fills me with confidence. You know, you look at the Raiders, they've Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, who is probably going to be his backup. Like he's a baller. I would have him any day of the week. You look at the Steelers, they only got Wilson, and then they went and got Fields from the Bears, and you're going right. There's two, not world beaters, but they'll push each other and they'll fight for the place. You look at us, and you got Mitch Trubisky. Well, I hope we never have to see you play a competitive down this season for the Bills. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Um, this week we did sign, as I said, another quarterback, Ben DiNucci, on a 1 year deal, and we also signed two wide receivers, Demary Bird and Dion Kane. So they are both brought in. On other news, Chase Claypool and Shane Bouchel have both been placed on the IR list, injury reserve list for the season coming. Now, I did hear it on a podcast a few weeks ago that when Chase Claypool had the toe injury, that this was something that might happen and that they would keep him there for the year and then work on him to have him for next year. Something that he would be building going forward since he was missing the start of the season. It just makes sense, and hopefully that he'll get his act together because he ain't going to get many more chances at NFL teams. And he does recover and use this season to build himself up, get into the right shape in mind, his body, and come next season, then push for a starting place as a wide receiver. And that's my thoughts. Like, you can't look into what our starters did because they weren't on the field long enough. They weren't given enough time to read, to express themselves. Some of them did okay, and some of them did poorly. But as I said about that game, it, you know, what was the point of it? I didn't learn anything as a Buffalo Bills fan. Maybe other people did, but for me, it was just awful hard to watch. It was a Chicago Bears team that just pounded the living daylights out of them. And if they were our second string or third string set of players, you're going, wow, we're in trouble. So maybe they'll turn it around this weekend and have a different. I know Sean McDermott wasn't happy, and I, as a Buffalo Bill fan, ain't happy either. Now, just a reminder about the competition I'm running. So I'm running a competition this year, and so far I have 20 entrants, some big names and some ordinary names like myself, but I have 20 entrants in it so far. What it is NFL prediction game week. So each game week there'll be a set of games, and if you want to enter, you have to enter by game week one. 31st of August is my cutoff point. Is I'll send you out a list of the games that's on that week. You'll send me back who you think is going to win. You get 1 point for a correct answer, and if a game is a tie in overtime, we'll give you 0.5 of a point. Now, the person with the highest score come the end of the 18 regular game weeks will win a one-of-a-kind Irish Bills Mafia hoodie, mug, and keyring. And on the hoodie, I will get put on it the NFL Game Week Prediction Champion 2024-25. It's far a bit of crack. As I said, I have some people who have been in the NFL. I have some people who have big podcasts in the NFL, and I have some people who are big fans of the NFL, and everyone is welcome. So if you are interested, please contact me on Twitter at Bills_Irish or on Instagram at the Irish Bills Mafia. You'll get me there, and the closing date for entries is the 31st of August. And it's just to have a bit of crack, a bit of banter, and there's a prize. And if you finish last, you will win a wooden spoon. But nobody wants the wooden spoon, so try and avoid it. But it's a bit of crack, and we have a laugh, folks. And I'll put up the scores every week, and everyone will know where to stand, and we'll know who's going to win and whatever. So if you are interested, please contact me through here or contact me through Instagram or X. And everyone is welcome, and it's free. It's just for the crack. Then to move into other bits of news. So I was reading today that the Pittsburgh Steelers are favourites to get Brandon Aiyuk from the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I hope they will learn a lesson from another piece of news where Hassan Reddick had asked for a trade from the New York Jets, and the New York Jets have refused the trade because Hassan Reddick is looking to get paid. And when you look at his numbers, that deal should have been done long before he signed for the New York Jets. If the Jets knew that the Eagles weren't going to pay him, well, then before they signed him, they should have said, "Look, we'll pay you and we'll do it." But whatever, things have not worked out. The Jets won't release him. They're going to keep fining him. Hassan Reddick has to make a decision whether he plays for the Jets or they can come to some negotiation. But I hope the Brandon Aiyuk deal is more straightforward for him, that he'll get his deal when he moves to the Steelers or whatever the crack will be. Because Hassan Reddick, he'll be a loss to the NFL. He'll be a huge loss to the Jets if he gets somewhere else, and somewhere else pays him, because he's a very good footballer. He is one of two players that have had double-digit sacks over the last 4 years. That'll be Myles Garrett. So when you look at it that way, 4 years, he's proven himself. He deserves to get his payday. Everyone else is getting it. So why shouldn't he? If he moved from the Jets, I'd be delighted. But for him, I hope he gets his deal and they sort it out, because it's embarrassing on both sides that something should be let go this long when they knew it was there all the time, putting it on the wrong finger. For ourselves, I've given you the news that we signed a new quarterback and two wide receivers. I think there'll be more practice squad / making up the numbers for a while than having any input into the first team, which only time will tell. Um, I am a bit flat about last weekend, and be honest, not so much the result, the performance. A lot of players did not show up, and for me, it yes, I hate losing. Winning is what you go in for. No matter what you go at, you try and win, do your best. But if you don't walk off a field or whatever you're doing, saying, I give 100%, then you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. And for me, some of them players didn't do that last weekend. And that's the piece that has me annoyed. And then one podcast I listened to list making up some absolute dire stuff of excuses. And it was more to kill airtime. It wasted a half an hour of my um, life listening to it. And I was still waiting to see could I learn something from it at the end of it, but I didn't. I just learned I wasted time. Or there was some very, very good podcasts about it, like Nickel City Mafia did a show Sunday night, Mike and Jake, on the pluses and the minuses and what they got out of it and so on. But for me, what I got out of it was some players were just coasting along for the sake of doing it. And, you know, it's that's not that's not for me. Sorry. But anyway, so on Thursday night, folks, I'll do a bit of a look ahead to Sunday's show or Sunday or this weekend's game against the Steelers and update you on any of the news. If you are looking to watch any videos, then you have, as I said, Nickel City Mafia, Mike Thornton and Jake Podger. They do a brilliant show on Sunday night. And then they have the AF East Summit on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, I'm not sure which. I do listen to it during the week, so I don't catch it live anyway. But they have the AFC East. They have uh, Anthony, who is a New York Jets fan. Uh, they have a Miami Dolphins fan and Keith, and they have a new Patriots fan who I name is gone from me now, but they have all four teams covered, and it's a very interesting and exciting show too. Um, then NFL Ireland are putting out their podcasts all the time. Um, Michael McQuaid and Mark Hogan, and they're doing a brilliant job. They have shows on this coming week. Uh, Hopefully next year they'll come to the west of Ireland. Fingers crossed. Intent. But there are all the other places. They're down Munster at this time, and they're going up east and north as well. So they have some brilliant shows lined up. So if you're free, go to them. And then you have Overreaction Buffalo again. The three lads there, Joe, Jerry, and John, who put on an amazing show, and I love listening to them and getting their points of view. So if you have anything you want to watch or listen to, Bills related or NFL related, they're the places to listen to. So anyway, folks, look, thanks very much for watching tonight. I'll be back on Thursday night. Help of God. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and as always, my friends, go Bills.